Madhvi, you'll have to restart. I think I don't know. It didn't start, so
Oh,
it started just now for some reason.
I saw the live right now. Okay, fine. Um, Hello, everyone. Good evening. I welcome you all on behalf of Team Urvarasa. It's been almost 4 years since we started with our lead farmer, Ram Hari Kadam, and we are very excited to share our journey of what all we have experienced and tried so far. Before we get into the discussion, I'd like to introduce you all to our founding members with us here today. Julie Wayne, who is a photographer and who gave us this amazing concept, is here to share her uh, insight. And we also have Sanjeev Naik, who's been a software engineer and instrumental in supporting the initiative's administration. And myself, I'm Madhvi. I'm leading the project and coordinating with experts and interested farmers. The years so far have been very exciting and eventful, and each one of us has something to share with you all. And we are really happy to be here. So I'd like Julie to go ahead and share about this gift she gave to India and how she sees it become real for India. Over to you, Julie.
Thank you, Madhavi. Great to see you. Great to see you, Sanjeev. So before I get started, I just want to say that if there's any cut in my internet service, it's because I'm having a difficult time these days. But let's just hope I'll speak quickly and for a short period of time. So I think what's really important to understand Urvarasa is to understand really the founding of Jeevabhavana, because Jeevabhavana is really the umbrella group that has launched Urvarasa. And Jeevabhavana was founded almost 4 years ago with the three of us. We're the founders and the directors of Jeevabhavana. And we founded Jeevabhavana right after a conference that Madhavi and myself, we had organized in Pune called the Pune Health and Sustainability Conference at the end of 2019. And the two aspects of health and sustainability were really spoken about for the 2 days of a very rich conference with wonderful experts. And particularly what was so important for us was that it was Indian specific, because there's so much information about climate change, about environmental breakdown, about health crises, about all of the things that we are living through in the modern world. But what was really important for us was to stress the specificities of what was happening in India. And the conference really gave us our wings to fly and to found Jeevabhavana, which really is sort of taking off from what the Pune Health and Sustainability Conference was all about, which means to study and focus on the negative aspects and the negative impacts of animal agriculture on the climate crisis, on environmental breakdown, on the health crisis, on hunger, on farmer sovereignty, etc., and of course on animals, and to understand that the negative impacts, and on the other hand to understand how moving toward a plant-based system of a food system could really help us immensely to right the wrongs that we have really created in the world. And because we are an Indian-based NGO, we quickly realized that not just it had to be Indian specific, but that we really needed to work on food systems, that it was really food systems that were the driving force of what the effects that we're seeing all around us. This gave rise to Urvarasa, where the three of us understood that we really needed to work on the ground level. Jeevabhavana from its inception has always been a solutions-based NGO. So while so many people and so many organizations, and they're doing great work, but they're really, really focused on the problems. And of course you have to know the problems to work on solutions. What was really important for us was to create a wide range and sort of a wide a forelooking of with a lot of foresight of how these problems could be solved. That's how Urvarasa came into being. We had spoken about this, all three of us, and realized that we needed to work directly with farmers. It was a way of empowering farmers. It was a way of people who wanted to move toward this system of actually healing the planet, healing themselves, their physical bodies. That it was really, really important for them to know where their food is coming from. And it's not just having plant-based food, but it's how this plant-based foods were actually produced. And that's Urvarasa. Urvarasa is working with farmers directly, working with consumers directly, educating both parties on how animals really are, as much as we love animals, but it's an agricultural system, they really have been ravaging the climate and the environment, and animal products, eating animal products, consuming animal products is taking a toll on public health. And so it's really something that was necessary to, excuse me, there's someone, I didn't lock my door. I'm gonna go now because I'll let you speak. Excuse me, Sanjeev, because I think I've gotten it all in my short time.
Yeah, thanks, Julie. And of course, for our audience, if you want to know more about Urvarasa, we have a promotional film which is on our YouTube. It's titled Urvarasa, and it was made under Julie's guidance. So that's where you can get the details more about it. So, yeah, of course, now I would like Sanjeev to go ahead and gave his insight into the project. Sanjeev has been volunteering with various environmental organizations, and we are very grateful that he's also contributing towards Urvarasa in his capacity. So, yeah, over to you, Sanjeev.
Yeah, thank you. Able to hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So thanks for this opportunity. And I think Julie has given a good idea about what Urvarasa entailed. And yeah, it is very privileged to be associated with a fantastic project like this, where we actually get to work with um, the solutions for mitigating climate change, especially in the area of animal agriculture. And so we were very lucky, or if you can say, very fortunate to get associated with the farmer who was very keen to come onto our platform. And he was based in Pandharpur. He had a very good understanding about what this project entails and the guidelines. And we have a very good partnership with him for almost like 2.5 years now, and decent success amidst a lot of challenges, again mainly due to the climate change, the what you said, irregular rainfalls and the water issues. In spite of that, we had good produce from him, and we could connect to the consumers in Pune and sell some of his wonderful produce of like tur dal, pomegranates, and a few other things. So it's a quite a, what do you say, up and down journey which we have been facing till now. And in during the process of making sure that the soil is going to be fertile for a long term, what we realized that an important part of making sure that is the availability of water, especially in the areas of where the rain is deficit and they have to be dependent on the rains, because even the canal river water is polluted. And also his farm being in Pandharpur is not doesn't receive very good rainfall. So we had to also support solutions for permanent water conservation and groundwater recharge. So we actually have partnered with another organization called Punarbharan, and they helped us a lot in coming out with how to do the community-based groundwater management. So we conducted a thorough groundwater survey near his farms and the neighboring farms, so that we can come up with a well set up groundwater management, and hopefully this will provide a model for other Urvarasa farms. So this is we have done the preliminary stage. We'll have to go with the little bit more intense projects for that to complete it. So that's a thing in progress. And along with that, we are now hoping to induct new farmers. We are getting very good leads now, and we have got a farmer now very close near Shikrapur, who is also ready to come onto our platform and try out. I mean, under our guidelines, make sure that the farming is done in a very natural based way, and without any animal husbandry practices, and it will be only the use of animal manure and all. And other farmer from Nagpur is also expected to join us, who has a lot of land holding, and will hopefully have a good association with it. Besides this, we're also looking at fundraising opportunities, because what we figured out is, it requires a lot of sort of funding, mainly for the farmers, for them to transition from whatever they have been doing, either animals or using chemical farming, and go completely natural. And like I earlier said, it's we have to look at water irrigation systems, how to do the monitoring of the farms from far away. And since we don't advocate much of machinery usage, because that also kills a lot of more than also, I mean, it kills creatures on the earth, but also the soil goes for a toss. So as less mechanized farming, so basic lightweight farming equipment. And the main thing is how to mentor and support this transition from their current practices. Other than that, we would also be wanting to support, the existing animals which are there on the farms, how to make sure that they stop using animals for their products, and go more towards caring them, sheltering them, and supporting them in an ethical way. And besides this, our original focus was also to do some research in India for in terms of climate change and sustainability. So we wanted to do a lot of research in what are the methane emissions from animal husbandry, especially dairy systems, and how it affects the groundwater, the soil fertility, and like Julie mentioned, how to move towards sustainable food systems, to come up with a policy to make sure that we are having a sustainable food systems. So all this research sort of thing study we want to do, which will focus on the environmental health and economic impacts, because we realize that the economic impact of animal agriculture, especially in India, is a very big it causes a big impact for the farmers, though they don't realize it. Many of them realize it, but they're into a debt. So how do we come up with data to support these facts? And so these are three areas where we would like funds from maybe associations or organizations who can help us in doing this climate mitigation. So that's basically a very broad level view of what we want to do in the next few years. And now I will hand over to Madhvi. She will go into more of what is happening on the real on the ground level. She's really working on the ground level, working with all the stakeholders, and what are the challenges, what are the ways we are doing it. She will be able to explain in detail. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Sanjeev. I think that was very important what you explained. Yeah, so I'm very excited to share our roadmap. What we have as a vision before us, as a goal before us, because that is what is going to drive us and keep us motivated towards, achieving uh, the um, farming practices which are ethical and which are natural and which are going to make that effect which we need to mitigate the climate crisis. We are aiming at having 50 farmers, getting on board and rewild around 200 acres of farmland by the year 2028. And in the process, as we keep this goal before us, we are realizing the steps we need to take. And this can only happen when we get farmers on board. And the cornerstone is to boost the sales from these farmers, because only when the farmers get a sense of economic security in this food system will they have the trust and the faith to follow the guidelines laid by Urvarasa. Of course, currently we are working with a few farmers, but that also helps us understand the ground realities and take our steps further gradually. So we do have farm produce, but which is limited in stocks and which is coming in intermittently. But we do see the our scale growing as we are able to connect with more and more farmers. We've also changed a bit of the way we get the farmers on board. Initially, we were really expecting our farmers to give up animal farming or breeding as soon as we explain them the guidelines. But what we have done now is we give them a 6 months transition period where we mentor them to stop milking the animals and stop breeding them right away, of course, but to slowly wean them off this practice, because there are many ground level logistics which are involved and it is very hard on them, and that is what is necessary to make it a more inclusive approach for the farmer, and have them join Urvarasa program, and as early as they can, because that's when they are able to give their consent to join the program and also motivate other farmers to join us. In this process of sales, we are also ensuring that the produce reaches the consumers directly so that the farmer gets the fair price. Again, we are exploring ways where we will have to ensure that this way of giving the fair price to the farmer stays. When the produce increases, and we may have to have a middleman, but there are new logistics now where we can train the farmer to do his own packaging, and the consumer can reach out to the farmer directly rather than have a middleman. But we are still in the stage of exploring this, and of course we are looking towards making it 100% waste free, so that we have a truly sustainable farming practice right from the production on the farm till it reaches the consumer. And as Sanjeev explained, of course, fundraising is a very important part of this roadmap, because that's what is going to support us through implementing our vision. And what is more interesting is we are coming up with the Urvarasa model farm very close to Pune, where it will be like a working laboratory to make experiments and learn on what happens on the farms, and of course have organic farm practice going alongside the traditional natural farming practice. So one can study the results without animal inputs and with animal inputs. Of course, we are because so many farms have animals, and there's nothing amiss when you use their products because they're available. But even to engage experts and educationists and also the youth who are so much interested nowadays in what's happening on the ground. So this will be a very good uh, opportunity for all those who are interested to come and see what happens on Urvarasa farms, and also for the farmers to come and see how we can do successful farming, sustainable farming, using just the biomass and not the animal inputs, because it's not necessary in the long run. And of course, very important, where many queries come for job opportunities. Yes, we are very keen on, creating this opportunity of ethical employment, and we are looking forward to, generating the revenue for this purpose, because this is going to be a parallel economy we are going to be developing in the long run. So we do need people having expertise in finance or fundraising, experts who can advise us how can we go about it. Also those who have good business sense and who would want to help us establish a social enterprise, for the purpose we want to meet. And even the youth who are interested in engaging with the farmers and interacting with them, helping them understand the importance of doing ethical, sustainable farming practices, where we also need to collect data and organize this data which we get from the farms. Again, so that we get more experts on board who are influencers, and we can have this concept reach out beyond Maharashtra as soon as we can. And for this, of course, what we see is a very important asset is having a social media team. We are blessed by volunteers who are really doing highly professional job for us, but we do, intend to make this a job opportunity again by making it a paid job opportunity. And we're looking for researchers, because there's so much information about India which is scattered and which needs to be collected and organized again to get engagement of experts. So yeah, so this is what we are up to. So I hope you all enjoyed listening to us. And if you have any questions, we are ready for it. So where do we see the questions?
Madhvi, there was a question from the YouTube. I'll just help you tell the question.
Yeah.
So there was a question saying, how do we choose our farmer?
Okay. Yeah. Maybe Julie would like to go for this.
I think Madhvi, you can go. I think
Yeah.
she's.
You're on mute. Okay. Hi.
I think, yeah, Madhavi, I think that it would be better if you spoke because
Okay.
it might be very choppy.
Okay, okay. So, well, we are connected with, as Sanjeev explained, we are connected with people who are really working on the ground with farmers who have way more experience with us than us, to interact with respect to interacting with farmers, especially the Punarbaran Foundation, which has been working with farmers for quite a few years, and so many other well-wishers who again are connected with farmers. This is how we are really getting to know farmers who are quite close to what Urvarasa is doing and who are very clear in their conscience and understand the ethical aspect and the impact it has on the resources of the farm and of course the finances of the farmer. So once we get to know about them, we interact with them, we understand their farming practice, we do interview them to understand how much they understand about sustainable practices and ethical practices. And that's where our journey starts. And I just, as I mentioned, sometimes the farmer, or most of the times actually, the farmer does engage in some form of, the milking or little dairy business. So they are not really doing it because it's just because of the money, little bit of money which they're getting, or they think that milk is necessary for their nutrition. So we are using that 6 months period to mentor them to understand what is the right practice and to put them in a self inquiry about how their resources are being used. And when we see that this interaction is going well and they are showing the potential of following the guidelines, that's when they can come on board. So that's how we choose our farmers.
So the next question is from Dr. Damayanti Rao. She's asking how much minimum land is required to make this changeover from the current practices to Urvarasa.
Oh, yeah. I think it could be as small as 1 acre of land as well. If you're willing to, make that change for the entire farm, that's great. But if you're economically dependent on it, then of course we would suggest that you do it on a part of the farm and then gradually progress towards the entire farm. So it could be a small portion and then you gradually do it. Does it answer?
That's right. And then Pratiksha is asking how can we contribute to this project and buy Urvarasa's produce?
Yeah. So right now we have been promoting the products on our social media, and so far we have sold the products from our own facilities, for the Urvarasa office and personal spaces. So it depends right now how we are promoting the sales. It could be available through the organization or in future from the farmer himself. That's what we would prefer ideally. So these are the channels to get the produce for yourself.
Yeah, in addition to that, I think we also have, we also have WhatsApp group, where we are, what do you say, we post and the happenings on the farm. So the consumers are actually aware of what is exactly happening and everything is transparent. So, it helps to build up the confidence of the consumers and also of the farmer. He is also more keen to, get connected with the consumer directly and share his experiences. So yeah, I think that will help us. That will help to get connected with the project not just for sales, but to also connect with the farmer, and sales being an outcome of that connection. That is the uh, vision which we are looking for.
Yeah, the intention is to know your farmer because that's when you can really trust the quality of the product. Yeah.
There are no more questions, but yeah, Pratiksha is also saying that yeah, transitioning our food systems is very essential to a sustainable future. And she thanks us for starting Urvarasa and dedication to an ethical future. So more power to all of us. Yes.
Thank you, Pratiksha.
Great.
Thank you, Pratiksha, for that encouragement.
And
Yes.
something else I did want to mention, if you can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
Julie.
Something else I really did want to mention is some of the, because we really do want to. I mean, it's really this idea also. I mean, not just, which is already something huge, but having sustainable food systems and making sure that the farmers and consumers know, the consumers know how their food is grown and everything like that, and farmers are actually incorporating these various practices into their farming practices, so that they are more sustainable and everything like that. But also how we encourage farmers to have their own kitchen garden and food forests, because these things are very, very important. As farmers in the last number of years have really gone, monocropping has been the word of order. So this way, the farmers are actually, and sometimes there's certain years where the crops have really suffered, and the farmers have no cash because they're not able to sell their produce on the market, in those years. At least with the kitchen garden, they're able to feed their families. They understand this idea of having a wide variety, a multi-cropping system, even if it's just for their family. And this is another way of empowering farmers. And I think it's really important. Plus the idea of food forests, because it's really, really important. It's perennial. And it is a way of sort of uniting the carbon capture of planting trees and food sources that can last for a very, very long time. So these are other pillars of Urvarasa, and I thought it was important to mention them.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
There we go. It's 8 o'clock exactly. If there's no
Yeah.
more questions, I think we can say goodbye.
Shall we?
Dr. Lamantera also says thank you. So thanks everyone for attending it and for your very good questions. And, hopefully you can visit our websites and our social media
Yes.
platforms and get more idea. And please connect us with us directly also. Yeah.
Definitely reach out to us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night. Bye.
Thanks.
You can stop.